Hi everyone, Matthew Donovan here. Day 19 of learning Czech. So I was supposed to have my italki tutor lesson this morning. That did not happen. I woke up this morning rather early. I had to wake up early to be all ready in time for the session because I had to plan the session earlier in order to still be able to head to work. And anyways, once I had woken up and I went to my computer, I received a message at about 2 in the morning, my time, saying that the tutor was going to have to reschedule the lesson. Her daughter had become ill and she was going to have to take care of her daughter. Definitely understandable, but it was slightly irritating to have to move the lesson, but nothing can be done about that. But anyways, so the lesson did not happen this morning as I had anticipated. I do have another lesson planned for Saturday, and I will be working with the tutor from this morning to reschedule our lesson. I don't know when that'll happen. Potentially Friday. I said to her, I said there's no point in scheduling a lesson for tomorrow. Let's wait until your daughter's better. Potentially Friday, maybe Sunday, if not probably early next week is when it will finally all be done. But that's okay. Just gives me more time to work on things on my own. Today, what I decided to do, I spent the majority of my time on Link. Essentially, I worked through all the lessons that I had done previously, only listening to them. So I have to load them up so the lesson is on my screen, but I didn't read through the text at all. It was just a matter of playing the audio, listening to it, sometimes repeating to figure out what was said until I was able to break apart the words. Now, there were one or two cases where I didn't necessarily remember what the words meant. So in those cases, I came up with my best guess, and then I just went to the translate, and it turns out I had the translation correct. But the biggest thing I wanted to do was just work on that listening skills. At this point, I'm working with a relatively small vocabulary, but I'm very pleased with this, having listened to the lessons, being able to understand what is being said. I think at this point now, I'll move forward, start working with more lessons. There's obviously, I think there are a few different avenues to this. There's the avenue of being able to read text, written text, and understand what it means. There's the aspect of being able to listen to spoken audio and interpret and understand what that means. And then there's a third avenue, which is actually speaking. So in that case, that's when I need to be able to have this vocabulary inside my brain so that I'm able to draw on that, and I'm able to draw from that when I need to use those words. So it's a matter of working on all three. I think that third one, the actual speaking, drawing those vocabulary words, I think that's going to be the most difficult. But I think that's where having these italki tutors can help me the most. In terms of 1 and 2, I'm very happy with the progress I've been making on Link. I think going through the lessons, reading through them, listening to the audio, I think that's very helpful. Now, the only thing that I'm wondering is whether or not I could make more progress by simply spending more time. At this point now, my evenings seem to be slightly less packed with events and activities, so hopefully I can increase the amount of time I'm spending on Czech, right? That's simply the matter of it. If I decide to do this for 3 months, if I can spend half an hour a day, that's 45 hours. It's a sizable amount, but not a ton of time. If I can spend an hour a day, that's 90 minutes. And if I can put in, say, 10 hours a week, that'll be 100, 150 hours. A sizable difference in the amount of progress I estimate I'll be able to make, depending on how much time I'm able to devote to this. So that, I think in a few weeks, I mentioned this, being able to listen to podcasts on the way into work. Even if I only pick up some of the language, that will definitely help. I read an article today talking about learning languages, people essentially asking if there's a plateau at a certain point where it makes sense to stop learning the language. And what was basically said is once you get to, it's a B2 level on the, I think it's the European framework for languages. Once you get to that level, you're able to converse relatively well and listen and speak with relative ease. At that point, you're still learning. It still takes a lot of time to learn, but the learning becomes less of what I'm doing now, reading through text, essentially trying to memorize or learn words and phrases and pronunciation. Once you get to a certain point, you're able to learn more, because what you're learning is the grammar and the intrinsic complexities of the language. That you're able to learn by simply reading the text, listening to the material, but at that point it doesn't really, it's not really studying anymore, because the material you're listening to is hopefully material you're interested in. So it might be a novel or the news or things like that. So you're learning by reading. So you still have to say spend a couple hours, an hour a day or whatever, but it doesn't feel like right now when I sit down I'm working through link lessons, that's essentially just preparation, right? I don't really get anything out of listening to two people say, hi, how are you, how's your day? Whereas listening to a novel or reading the news, that will be beneficial intellectually, and will also help with the language. So eventually I'll get to that certain point. The one thing that I'd like to try is to get there as soon as possible. I will try to power through some of these linked lessons, make those connections, listening to the audio, and see how that goes. But I think that'll wrap up the update for today. Unfortunately, that tutor session that I had been so looking forward to and anticipating did not happen. That's very unfortunate, but again, it was outside of my control. Not much I can do. I will be rescheduling. I do have another lesson planned for Saturday, but other than that, proceed on as normal. I'm making progress, making sizable progress. It's been less than 3 weeks, and at this point, you know, I know some of the basics. Please, thank you, yes, no, hi, how are you, what's your name, good day, goodbye, things like that. Very pleased with what I've been able to get done so far, and it's a journey, and we'll see where it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.